In this additional rule, we take a look at what the project manager would do if constrained for resources, or perhaps a particular resource that you need on the project faces some difficulty with a visa, with a document that will enable travel. What would you do? And the question tests your understanding of virtual teams. Is it mandatory that we be co-located? Not necessarily on this project. So what should you do? Think about the option of virtual teams. Let's take a look at the rule. The rule simply states use virtual teams as an option when resources are challenged or as needed. Now, taking a look at the question as usual, the question states something to the effect of a highly skilled resource is unavailable locally. A resource who can work on the project is in a different country, but the work visa process is taking longer than expected. And the options that you have is delay the project, reduce the project scope, assign overtime, or ask the resource to work remotely. And the most sensible thing was to get the resource to work remotely. The use of virtual teams creates new possibilities when acquiring project team members. So on your exam, if you get questions that test you about virtual teams and the option to work virtually, you know they're testing you on these options that we find in chapter 9 of the PMBOK guide. Where possible, we should use virtual teams. Co-location accelerates breaking through the barriers in the 5 stages of team development. But where that is not possible, you should use virtual teams. And watch out for those gotcha questions where the question buries the information about the team not being able to work in the same location. It may give you clues. Don't rush through the question just so that you can glean that the virtual team possibility is there. There was actually a second question, but the information was buried. Very easy to miss the information. So for those folks who are whizzing through the questions, be careful because sometimes it's one tiny little word or two that indicates why it is definitely not some of the other options. If you miss those, you could struggle. Okay, so read the questions carefully. I would say the more you take these mock exams, the quicker you get with reading, the better you're going to get as far as timing to answer the question. No matter how long the question is, it's doable. You can answer all the questions on the exam, but practice makes perfect. The more you practice the long questions, the better you'll get. All right. Thank you very much. For those of you taking the exam in 2021, you might be wondering, what am I going to do? We've got you covered. Go on down to projectmanagementmasterclass.com. Come along for the ride with us. We're going to take a really good look at predictive, agile, and hybrid models. It's going to be a very content rich course. I'll see you there if you need to be on it. For those of you taking the exam 2020, I wish you all the very best. Let's slay that exam. Bye for now.